Imagine a world where nobody has to work. The government simply deposits $10,000 into your bank account every single month. Poverty is eradicated overnight. The national debt is paid off with a single keystroke. Homelessness vanishes. It sounds like a utopia. It sounds like the solution to all human suffering. But if we actually did this, if we actually turned the printers onto infinity, civilization as we know it would collapse in roughly 48 hours. Today, we are going to explore the most dangerous idea in economics: infinite money. To understand why we can't print it, we have to understand what it actually is. We think money is wealth. It isn't. Money is a claim on wealth. Think of it like a cloakroom ticket at a theater. The ticket proves you own a coat. If the theater prints 1,000 more tickets and hands them out, they haven't created 1,000 more coats. They've just created a riot in the cloakroom. For 5,000 years, money was hard. It was gold. You couldn't print gold. You had to dig it out of the ground. This physical constraint kept governments honest. But in 1971, everything changed. On August 15, 1971, President Richard Nixon went on television and temporarily suspended the convertibility of the US dollar into gold. That temporary measure never ended. In that moment, the US dollar became fiat currency. Fiat is Latin for "let it be done." It has value only because the government says it has value, and because they have men with guns to put you in jail if you don't pay taxes in it. Without gold anchoring the dollar, there was no longer a physical limit on how much money could be created. The printer was unlocked. So, how does the US actually print money today? There is no guy in a basement with a printing press. It is far more elegant and far more terrifying. It happens via open market operations. The Federal Reserve sits at a computer terminal. They decide they want to inject $100 billion into the economy. They don't tax you for it. They don't borrow it. They simply type it. They use this digital cash to buy bonds from private banks. The Fed gets the bond. The bank gets the fresh cash. This is called quantitative easing. It is magic money created from thin air, injected directly into the veins of the banking system. But here is the secret they don't teach in school. This new money doesn't go to you, it goes to the banks first. This is called the Cantillon effect, named after 18th century economist Richard Cantillon. The people closest to the printer, banks, hedge funds, government contractors, get the money before prices rise. They use it to buy cheap stocks and houses. By the time that money trickles down to your wages, the prices of those houses have already doubled. Inflation is not an accident. It is a transfer of wealth from the poor who hold cash to the rich who hold assets. History has tried universal basic income via the printer before. In 1923, Weimar Germany, the government printed money to pay war debts. It spiraled so fast that a coffee cost 5,000 marks at 9 a.m. and 8,000 marks by 10 a.m. People ordered 2 coffees at once because the second one would be more expensive if they waited to drink it. In Zimbabwe, they printed a $100 trillion note. I have one right here. It is worth roughly 40 cents. When money becomes infinite, its value falls to zero. Society breaks down because nobody will trade their labor for worthless paper. You might be asking, we printed trillions in 2008 and 2020. Why aren't we Zimbabwe? This is the great modern paradox. We did get inflation. It just didn't show up in milk and eggs immediately. It showed up in assets. Look at the S&P 500. Look at real estate prices. Look at Bitcoin. The cost of buying a future, a house, a retirement portfolio, skyrocketed. The money printing didn't make us richer. It made the price of wealth harder to reach. Eventually, in 2022, that inflation finally spilled over into groceries and gas, hitting 9%. The bill always comes due. So, if the game is rigged, how do you win? You stop playing their game. You cannot store your life energy in a battery that leaks. Cash is a leaking battery. It loses 2 to 10% of its charge every year by design. You must convert your labor into hard assets, things that cannot be printed. Real estate, gold, the S&P 500, Bitcoin. These are shields. When the flood of money comes, these assets float to the top. We cannot print unlimited money because we cannot print time. We cannot print energy. We cannot print trust. Money is just a contract between us, and every time the printer whirs, that contract gets a little weaker. Don't be the victim of the printer. Be the owner of the assets. If you want to learn exactly how to build a portfolio that survives inflation, I've created a step-by-step guide on the S&P 500 right here. Click it, and I'll see you there.